Want to speak real English from your first lesson? Sign up for your free lifetime account at EnglishClass101.com.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia. In this lesson, I'm going to talk about 3 uses of get. Let's begin. Okay, the first meaning I want to talk about is the basic meaning of the verb get, which is just to receive something. So we use get to refer to buying something at a store, for example, or receiving something from someone, or receiving something from something else. So we use get in this way to show transfer of ownership of something. For example, I got a new job. I got a new job. Here, got is used, the past tense of get. So I got a new job. You'll notice in these sentences, these example sentences, we follow get or got, whatever verb form it is, with some noun phrase. So let's take a look at the next one. He needs to get a haircut. He needs to get a haircut. Here, my noun is a haircut. He needs to get. So you can imagine this is like he needs to receive a haircut. So this haircut, it's like a service kind of too. So we can use it for services as well. Next example, we're thinking about getting a dog. We're thinking about getting a dog. So in this sentence, you can imagine getting is like a replacement for buying. So we're thinking about buying a dog, but maybe you don't want to buy the dog. Maybe you're going to adopt the dog from somewhere, or a neighbor's dog had puppies and you want to take one. So we're thinking about getting a dog. So we use getting here because this makes a noun form. This ing here creates a noun from a verb. So getting a dog is actually a noun phrase. So the act of receiving a dog. Okay, our final example here. She's never gotten a bad test score. She's never gotten a bad test score. Gotten is the past participle form of get. So this means she's never received a bad test score, essentially. But we use this to sound a little more conversational, a little bit more light. Okay, so let's compare this then to the second use of get for this lesson. We can use get before an adjective. And when we do this, get means become. So this sounds much less formal than become. A lot of learners use become in everyday conversations and it sounds very unnatural. We use get most of the time to talk about a change in status or a change in condition. Let's look at some examples. It's getting hot in here. It's getting hot in here. So this means it's becoming hot in here. We do not say becoming. It sounds way too formal, very stiff. This is much more casual. A native speaker would say, it's getting hot in here. That's what we would say if it's hot or maybe cold too. It's getting cold in here. So we use the progressive form or the continuous form to show that something is happening now. So it's getting hot in here. Next, wow, you got tall. Wow, you got tall. This is an expression we use a lot with kids we have not seen for a long time. So you maybe see a family member one time a year. From the last time you saw this kid, the child has grown. You could say, wow, you got tall. In other words, wow, you became tall. But again, become or became here in past tense is way too stiff. So we use got instead. Wow, you got tall. So this is useful when talking about changes in physical appearance too. Okay, the next one. Your lunch is gonna get cold. Your lunch is gonna get cold. So again, we can simply replace get with become, and the meaning of the sentence remains the same. But we do not use become in everyday conversation here. Your lunch is gonna become cold. doesn't show a communication problem or doesn't have a communication problem, but it sounds very unnatural. Instead, please use your lunch is gonna get cold. So your lunch is gonna get cold. This gonna means going to. Your lunch is going to become cold in temperature is what this means. So please eat your lunch. Okay, the last example from this section, he's going to get angry when he hears the bad news. He's going to get angry. So again, we're using get here, become angry. And this is a future tense situation or future tense statement. The speaker is making a guess about this person's attitude in the future. He's going to get angry when he hears the bad news. So again, all of these examples use get or some form of the verb get before an adjective, hot, tall, cold, angry, and so on. So we can use it directly before an adjective to mean become. This sounds much more natural than become in everyday conversation. So please try to use get, not become. Okay, with that, let's go to the last part of today's lesson. The last part focuses on using get instead of be in passive patterns. So we do this to express something that was unexpected. So sometimes it can be like kind of negative, or maybe it's like a shock, but generally the feeling is that something unexpected happened, or maybe it was an accident. So we use get instead of be with action verbs in the passive. So we don't use it with state verbs. So for example, like know or think. We don't use it with like state or like emotion related verbs. We use it with action related verbs. Let's look at some examples. My snack got eaten by a dog. My snack got eaten by a dog. So here we could say my snack was eaten by a dog, and that would also be correct. We're using past got eaten to show, like with more emphasis, this was unexpected. So I had a snack. Maybe I had my snack here and a dog ate it. So I want to show that it was unexpected or something negative happened. I replace was in the regular passive pattern with got. My snack got eaten by a dog. Okay, let's look at another example. His article got picked up by a big news site. His article got picked up by a big news site. So picked up means, in this case, the big news site found his article, took it, and put it on their website. So to pick up information like that is like it was shared by, in this case, a big news site. So we're using got, again, in past tense here to show that this situation was unexpected. This was like not something planned. So it's exciting in this case. It's a surprise. We're showing that with got. Again, you could say his article was picked up. That's perfectly fine. It just doesn't have the same feeling of surprise or lack of expectation. The third example, her house got damaged in the storm. Her house got damaged in the storm. So this use of got, again, shows us that something was not expected. Maybe a really big accident happened in the storm. As a result, her house got damaged. Okay, so let's talk about some common idioms that use get. These are just set phrases that we use with get plus something. So try to remember these as like set patterns. So don't change these when you use them in speech. First is get married, to get married. This is a very common one. So we use it at the point in time at the wedding ceremony. Like my friend got married last week, or I'm excited to get married this summer. We use get married as a set phrase. Sometimes I hear students say like got marriage, which is not correct. We must use get married, get married. Another very common one is get dressed. To get dressed means to put on your clothes, to get dressed. So we don't say like to get a shirt on or something like that. We use get dressed to mean like prepare ourselves and prepare our clothes on our body for the day. To get dressed. We use that as an idiom. Another good one is to get lost, to get lost. So you can imagine this expression meaning become lost, like point number 2 here for today. So to get lost means you lose the place you're trying to go to get lost. There's also kind of a mean or an aggressive expression we have, which is get lost, which is a rude way to say go away or like lose yourself far from me, get lost. So that's another idiom we use. 2 more are these 2, which I use this one at the beginning of lots of videos on this channel. To get started. To get started means to begin the process of starting something. Let's get started. So I use this at the beginning of lots of videos to mean let's begin, or let's take the first steps in doing something, in like the next thing we're going to do. Let's get started. So this is an idiom, an idiomatic expression. Similarly is get going, get going. You'll notice here I'm using going. These others have used like the past participle form of the verb. This expression is a set expression, which means leave. Let's get going means let's leave. But we use this casually when we're leaving like a party or some other event. Let's get going. So it sounds kind of a little bit friendly and not so strong. Not like let's go, but let's get going. Like let's take the first steps towards leaving this place. Let's get going. So these are some very common idioms that you will hear with get. All right, so this is an introduction to 3 ways to use get. I hope that you found something that you can use, and I would encourage you to practice point 2 especially. So try to avoid using become a lot because it sounds very unnatural and very strange. Please try to use get instead. All right, so that will do it for this lesson. Of course, if you liked this lesson, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. If you have any questions or comments, or if you want to practice making sentences with the stuff I talked about in this lesson, please feel free to do so in the comment section of this video. Also, don't forget to check us out at EnglishClass101.com for some other things that can help you with your English studies. Thanks very much for watching this lesson, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye. Want to speed up your language learning? Take your very first lesson with us. You'll start speaking in minutes and master real conversations. Sign up for your free lifetime account. Just click the link in the description.